Folks, once again, I'm your boy Nev from Nev's Tech Bits. Today I want to talk a little bit about the Hacker Quarterly 2600. Man, way back in the day when my folks used to hike me all the way out to Toronto and we used to buy these things called books and magazines. I would go to the world's biggest bookstores right next to the Greyhound buses, and it might not have actually been the biggest bookstore. It was the store that Robot Johnny 5 and Short Circuit went to a bookstore and he's looking through books, flipping through it and reading it immediately. It was actually that store, that location. They had magazines from frickin' everywhere and they blew my mind. This is one thing that I found. I bought multiple copies of them, but this is the only one that survived my multiple moves. And I think it's the last one that I bought. The Hacker Quarterly 2600. This is volume 29, number 3. So much good stuff in here. The price is overpriced. Even back then, $7.15 Canadian. That's like freaking amazing. It's just a little unit. There's not really much advertising in it. Actually, I don't think there's any advertising. It's just interesting stuff that any tech, even any hardware tech, any well, hacker, gray hat, black hat, white hat, all the way. Lots of interesting stuff in here. And I think I remember buying this and being interested in the fact that they had the Guy Fawkes mask on there. This was just about the time when Anonymous was starting to make their way out into the open, and everybody knew the final boss of the internet, and everybody knew Annan. I think it was the great strike against Scientology that brought that to everyone's minds. But there's always interesting stuff in the front and in the back. We're not going to kid ourselves into thinking that this picture wasn't doctored a bit. We suspect that the total price was $26, and the amount of gasoline was, yeah. Anyways, of course, we've got a picture of Captain Crunch's whistle. Maybe not Captain Crunch himself, but the Captain Crunch's whistle. Captain Crunch, of course, was a hacker way back in the day that realized that if he used this whistle just right, that he could make free long-distance phone calls based off of noises that would come from the phone. If you deposited money into the machine, it would make a tone saying that you dropped a little bit of money, and he could use this to tell the machine that someone had put money into the phone when really money had not been put there. Once again, because if you put a coin in, a tone would be heard. And it's black and white. This whole thing is black and white. I think even today it's black and white. Pretty good art. Beware the cyber weapons industry complex. Yes, lots of interesting thing. The hacker's perspective. Lots of interest. I think in this particular one, there was one video, there was one story that stuck with me, and that was about jails, about prisons, and how technology worked in there. One thing I always loved about the Hacker Quarterly is it showed you phones from all over the place. From the United Arab Emirates, man, that's a nice looking phone. Egypt, huh, okay. Looks like you use cards in that one. Libya, and that's it. Check it out. That's a nice background. I mean, even then, nobody was using those kinds of tapes anymore. That's still, gets me right in the 80s heart. Here's that article I was talking about. Technology at the Federal Bureau of Prison. It talks about TRU units, core links, printing, and TRU units are credits that can be purchased for 5 cents each at increments of 40, 100, 20, 30, and it's talking about how much you have to print. Man, apparently in order to go through a case, you have to print a lot of stuff, and if you have to print a lot of stuff from the prison, you're going to have yourself a hard time. So one thing that I definitely like about this is it looks like it doesn't have too much advertisements. It's not just a flash in the pan. It's not making everything seem beautiful like beauty magazines or Vanity Fair, heck, even People magazine. There's nothing flashy about this for the most part. It's black and white, and you just get information that seems to be in a very down-to-earth way. I see people having fun with what they're doing in all of these stories and the information that's being brought to the front, but I don't see anyone being really exactly so pompous with their heads wedged up their bottom, and we really do get a serious down-to-earth feel with the hacker scene. I shouldn't even call it a scene. It's like almost like just a home away, but it's a little bit different for everyone, I imagine. But anyways, this Hacker Quarterly basically has been around for a super long time. Before it was a Hacker Quarterly, it was a forum for hackers to post. And these days, there's all kinds of different definitions of a post. Like, for example, my wife says that she definitely doesn't think I am or ever have been a hacker. And I bet she also thinks that Captain Crunch is never a hacker. So it's one of those things. It's up for individual belief of what is it. But I'm pretty sure the technical definition of a hacker is still just someone who demands intimate knowledge to a system, to a computer system, not even a computer system, maybe to a phone line, maybe to trunk line phones. Anyways, this is officially published in 1984. Just down to earth. Real good stuff. I definitely recommend anyone check it out. Hacking Apple systems. Yeah, man, it's been a long time. I should go through these things again. Anyways, there is a 2600 website. I'm pretty sure it's just 2600.com. And there's also, they have a good YouTube channel. They don't have a lot of stuff up on the YouTube channel. And they also have get-togethers and all that awesome kind of stuff. XML automated gambling. I don't remember reading that one. Interesting. But yeah, actual physical stuff, not overinflated, not bombastic, not just giant colorful pictures, but just really freaking interesting stuff. I definitely recommend checking it out if you have a shot. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. Nev from Nestac. But like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Always appreciated. And as always, have a good one, folks. Take care of each other.